Alright. Welcome to another Waking Back with Trillis. And today we got Eminem. Yeah, you remember Eminem. But not only do we have Eminem, not that it's going to show, now we have Candice Owens talking about Eminem. You know me, if you know me, I love some Candice Owens. But apparently, Eminem made a diss track about Candace Owens.
Also, we've got Eminem. In case you're thinking, Candace, that name vaguely rings a bell. Yes, I'm referring to the white rapper that we all used to listen to when we were prepubescent and we wanted to feel edgy. One with the bleach blonde hair, inspired a generation of 14-year-old boys to wear Echo Limited. No? Don't know what I'm talking about still? Not ringing a bell? Okay, he wrote a lot of songs about killing his baby mama, Kim. 8 Mile, the movie, yeah, now it's starting to come to you. Well, apparently Eminem is still releasing music, and guess what, guys? He is edgier than ever. He's written 2 diss tracks that feature me. Lastly, Jordan Peterson is now trending on Twitter under the headline, Hero or Hypocrite. And I hate to say, literally this time, I hate to say that I told you so. You guys were mad at me for pointing out that he was tweeting in a weird way. Now the public has caught on. That's what's coming up on Candace Live.
Wow. So, I'm messing with Candace. So, we're going to hear some more about what she has to say, but right out the back, she is going hard on Eminem. And Eminem is one of my favorite rappers. I'm going to just say that. He's one of my favorite rappers. And I'm going to also say, I ain't bumping no Eminem right now. I ain't bumping occasionally bumping no old school Eminem. But I am when I'm working out. When I'm working out, I'm bumping. Lose yourself in the moment, you own it, never let it go. I don't know the lyrics, but that song always pump me up. So, she needs to come down on them because that's my workout music to do. Mean girl, sexy lady. Yeah, sexy, I don't care what
Please buy my album. So many of them are flopping. I will say anything. What do I have to do? Who do I have to throw under the bus? So he starts by, basically, he has got the song, it's called Lucifer. And he obviously throws Kanye under the bus first. He's just like, oh, nobody cares about Kanye anymore, as if anybody...
Let me just stop it right there. Just for a second. I'm like, okay, what's up with Eminem? Why you gotta have songs named Lucifer? You know, that anybody, you don't even have to tell nobody. It's like, okay, there's 5 rappers over here, and one of them got a song named Lucifer. Oh, that's Eminem. Everybody knows Eminem gonna rap a song named Lucifer. The man killed his mama in a song. I don't think I did. He wrote some crazy shit, but anyway.
He even knows where Eminem is. Kanye is still making a lot of headlines. Eminem, on the other hand, is not. But I want to take you through these lyrics because there's a lot happening here. First thing I want to say is Eminem is obviously a gay man. It's very sad that Eminem cleaned out his closet but never came out of his closet. But let's get to these lyrics. I'll read them to you. He writes, or says, or raps, and Candace O, I ain't mad at her. I ain't gonna throw the fact BITCH forgot she was black at her. Oh, laugh at her like them crackers she's backing after her back is turned in a cute MAGA hat with her brand new White Lives Matter shirt. Haha, nope. Or say this MAGA dirtbag in a skirt just opened the biggest can of worms on the whole planet Earth. Call her Grand Wizard, yeah, Candace, haha, or Grand Dragon, or like the national anthem, I won't stand for the tramp. Why? But I can diss her, because my plans are to get in her pants, and I'll blow my chance if I answer back to her. Oh, but I can't diss her because his plans are to get in my pants. Ew, you disgust me. Okay, a lot going on here. I think first and foremost, I just would like to again remind people that he is in fact a struggling internally gay man. And so there's a lot happening with Eminem, and we should pray for him. On the second point, the way that we know that is because he's actually recycling things that black women have said about me on the internet. Like he's pretending this is original, calling me Candace. It's not. This is like he's just recycling the black women that don't like me on the internet, have a lot of names for me, one of them being Candice O. So he's like watched what
I just like to back up on that point that like a lot of gay people, they like no matter what color they are, they a lot of times they like they act like the most over the top black woman that you can think of. You know, no, you didn't hit this town. Like, dude, you know, it's just some weird shit. And it is.
Saying, and I guess someone who was listening to him in the booth was like, yeah, this is a good one. Yeah, drop the beat. They're really going to like that. By the way, there's a second song he also dropped. This one's called Bad One. And the lyrics are this about me. Yeah, this whole subgenre with all these corny white rappers, I'm not a fan of it. It ain't my fault, but like sock puppets, I had a hand in it. This $1,000 in my hand is just like what Candace did when she turned her back on her own race, because I have abandoned it. Oh my, so cool. That's a tough one. That's so tough. The black community is gonna be going crazy. Not. I don't think that's gonna happen at all. Actually, I'm doing this because I want to help him go viral because this is sad. This is very sad. I want you to feel sad for Eminem because this is just not the way for someone's career to go down the drain. And I want us all to do our part to help make Eminem relevant again at the very least. And he can be relevant just by me speaking about him. He understands that. By the way, I did TMZ earlier. They were asking me like, you know, in part though, aren't you honored that someone who is recognized as the greatest white rapper of all time is dedicating all of his time to you? And I said no, because it would have meant something if he was at his prime. As an example, Dave Chappelle, he made a really, honestly, it was kind of a hideous joke about me. I didn't think the joke itself was funny, but I did appreciate the fact that Dave Chappelle, who is the most famous comedian in the entire world at the peak of his career, was mentioning me on stage. Like when he was very sad about George Floyd and he did this whole skit and he said some awful things about me, I did have that moment where I went, wow, Dave Chappelle knows who I am. This is not that with Eminem. He is not at the peak of his career. He's at the end of it. His career should have ended like 15 years ago, and he keeps going. And so this is not a rapper that's at the top. He's actually doing he's going through a strategy that a lot of new rappers do, where they find out who is the big rapper and they start a beef, right? He's like, nobody knows who I am, so I'm just going to start a beef with Candice Owens, and he's just fading out of the American mindset entirely. So this is what he's.
Hey, you can't deny it. She's making some strong points. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start some beef with Candace to make my name relevant to what, you know, Kanye's level is that's what it's about. And Kanye is a million steps ahead of you. And on to the next thing. I'm not dissing Eminem at all. I'm just saying that if that's what he's doing, you can't jump on the bandwagon. You should have did it years ago.
Here is pathetic. He's literally making a plea to the public. I hate white people. That's what he's saying. He's calling white people crackers. He's using a slur against his own people, while at the same time, unironically, accusing me of doing what he's doing. He's like, she turned her back on her own race, as he turns his back on his race and calls them crackers. I've never used slurs to describe black Americans because I don't have an issue with my race, but you very much have an issue with yours. And the other thing is, like, he doesn't even know what his audience is. Again, this feels very maybe could have done something in 2016 when the whole world was, so anti-Trump and it was the George Floyd moment. He doesn't even understand what's happening. I mean, that conversation has broken in the Black community. That's why Trump's numbers are up. Beyond that, I've been on the Breakfast Club. I've done Joe Budden. Like, Black Americans are following this podcast. They actually like me. I went viral on a few of those channels, on Instagram channels the other day because of my conversation with Don Lemon. They're starting to hear what I have been saying, because back in 2016, when I was saying Black Lives Matter was a fraudulent organization, people were not ready to listen to that. But then what happened was they proved that they were a fraudulent organization, and people said, I think Candace may have been trying to tell us that, and she was right, and maybe I need to listen to her rather than listen to what other people are telling me about her. And one of those people that they're not going to listen to is you, Eminem, because you're just so irrelevant. Your music isn't good anymore. And like I said, you're the one that's actually cosplaying a race that you aren't. You're desperate for Black Americans to pick up your tracks because you abandoned the audience of a lot of people who were listening to your music. I'm a trailer park kid, and then what did you do? You dunked on kids from the trailer park. You dunked on actually an entire middle class of white people who loved your music. You dunked on people in the country. For what reason? For what reason other than you misread the room? And the reason that you misread the room, rather, is because what's actually happened to Eminem is he's an out-of-touch elitist. He is. This is what happens. He is now a lefty elitist. He belongs on a campaign trail with Hillary Clinton when she runs for the third or fourth time. That's what he should be doing, because he's pretending to know anything about what's going on. The reality is that a lot of those people in the country that he doesn't like, take it from me, I moved to Tennessee, have a lot more in common with the people that he's trying to appeal to. I think he thinks he's appealing to, the hood. They have a lot more in common because these are regular people who are suffering in different but similar ways, who recognize that the economy is not good, and an Eminem track is not going to make it better. Here's the last thing I want to say about Eminem. He is a lesson to a lot of people out there that you need to know when it's time for you to retire. You don't want to retire on this note, right? Eminem is 51 years old. He has not modified his brand at all. He's not grown up. Most people know that you do have to evolve your brand, right? You can even see this as just one example. Miley Cyrus, in 2016 or maybe a little bit before, she was shaking her butt, we can't stop twerking, and now she's cleaning it up and she's singing music that's still catchy, but it's not so crass, and she's actually giving interviews saying that, this is who I was because I wanted to break out of the Disney shell, and this is who I am, and this is where I'm going. And I don't think she gets it right all the time, but I can at least recognize that she's evolving. Eminem's not evolving. He still thinks that he's a 13-year-old boy who is rapping in his room, and that somehow people are going to find that appealing, when in reality, he's 51 years old. His daughter, or maybe he's older than 51, his daughter has just gotten married, which means that Eminem should be behaving more like a potential grandparent. He's granddad. This is granddad shady. You know what I mean? But granddad is not acting like a granddad. I'm going to need granddad to start acting like a granddad and not producing this trash to pander to the Black community. That's what I want to say on that point.